What is up, reefers, and welcome back to another episode of Mike's Reef Tank. On today's Coral Spotlight, we're going to talk about one of the hobby's most favorite LPS coral, Euphyllia. Alright, let's take a look at the care requirements. For Euphyllia, you want your light to be moderate to high, 50 to 250 par. For flow, you want it to be moderate and indirect, and that means you don't want to be blasting these polyps. For placement, you want to place in the middle or lower sections of your aquarium. You want to provide ample space because these guys can sting their neighbors. For water parameters, you want the temperature between 76 and 80 degrees Fahrenheit, salinity around 1.025, your pH is 8.1 to 8.4, your alkalinity 8 to 12 DKH, and your calcium 400 to 450 parts per million. You also want to keep your nitrates 20 parts per million or lower, and you definitely want to keep your phosphates lower than 0.1. Alright, let's do a quick talk on the main three Euphyllias you'll find out in your local fish store or online marketplace. So up first, we're going to talk about torch corals. Torch corals have the longest extension out of all three of these Euphyllias. They are very aggressive, and you want to make sure you give them lots of space from their neighbors. Torch corals do not get along well with other Euphyllia. You want to keep torches to themselves, so if you decide to do a torch garden, keep it to straight torches, don't add any Frogspawn or hammer, and these things are real showstoppers. They can come in tons of different colors, and they could be very cheap in the $100 range, or you could get into Holy Grails and other torches, and it could be $300 up. This Euphyllia comes in mostly branching colonies. You won't see very many wall colonies for torches. Like all other Euphyllia, it'll take the calcium out of your water and use that to build its calcium carbonate skeleton. A really cool coral and a favorite amongst hobbyists. Next up, we have hammer corals. Hammer corals get their name from the ends of their polyps, which are kind of smashed and hammer shaped. These can come in branching and wall type, with wall being a more difficult colony to take care of. These also come in tons of different colors, and they will suck up that calcium in your water to build its calcium carbonate skeleton. With all these corals, you want to make sure that you keep up on your water changes to bring down your nutrients and also replenish your calcium, alkalinity, and magnesium. Unlike torches, where they can be a little aggressive towards other Euphyllia, you can put hammers and frog spawns next to each other and they're not going to affect each other. You can build a hammer frog spawn garden. Last of the typical types of Euphyllia you'll find in your fish store is the frog spawn. And this coral gets its name because it looks like a cluster of frog eggs or a frog spawn. This is one of my favorite Euphyllias. I have one of these in my aquarium and it's going through the head splitting process right now. Frogspawn can come in different colors, and they can end up with different names depending on the way the polyps form. Your typical Frogspawn will be very erratic in which way the polyps are growing. When the dimples become more uniform, people start giving it names like Octospawn and Kingspawn, which are showing a higher grade and quality of Frogspawn. As I mentioned before, these will work very well next to hammers. You just want to keep Frogspawns, hammers away from torches. For all three of these, the branching types, you'll have two different ways of it growing. It will either split heads, which is what's going on with mine right now, or it will start growing additional polyps onto the calcium carbonate skeleton, which will then branch off into new heads. These corals are a really fun LPS to have in your aquarium. It'll give you a lot of movement and beauty. I highly recommend, if you're deciding to move up to LPS, trying out these corals, especially starting out maybe with the hammer or the frog spawn, and then when you start feeling comfortable with those, go into those awesome torches. I want to take a moment to thank Jared at Fantastic Aquariums of Frederick for allowing me to video these corals. If you are in the Frederick, Maryland area, please stop by the shop. If you enjoyed this coral spotlight, check out my playlist. I have Montipora, Zoanthids, and Poeciloporidia. If you enjoyed the content, smash that like button, subscribe for more reefing goodness, and as always, happy reefing.